Stop and let's learn about the top 5 real estate scams going on right now. So I read somewhere once that over a third of the world's wealth is tied up into real estate. I have not fact checked that, so it may not be entirely true, but either way, I think we can all agree there's a lot of money worldwide tied up into real estate. So with that being said, a lot of money equals a lot of sharks, which equals a lot of scams. And today I want to go over the top 5 scams that are happening in real estate right now that hopefully will help protect you and your family against becoming victims to one of these scams. So if you don't know who we are, my name is Chris Schwartz, myself and business partner own White Whale Real Estate. This is the Living in New Smyrna Beach Real Estate YouTube channel. We go over all things real estate and local in the New Smyrna Beach, Daytona Beach, Volusia County area. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest, please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. And we do help people every day move here to the area. So if you'd like to set up a free consultation with us, click the link there too. We'll be happy to help you any way we can. So let's get into it, top 5, and let me know in the comments what you think is the worst of the top 5 and or any other ones you think everybody should know about. All right, first up is going to be title fraud. Title fraud is, before we get to that real quick, hold on, look how pretty this house is. Great job on the decorations here, guys. Really getting into the Christmas spirit. So we are just kind of walking around New Smyrna Beach neighborhood right now. It is a little bit later in the evening and it's weird, we've got some like tropical storm or something coming. So a little weird weather, but anyway, back to the business. Number 1, title fraud. This is going to be where a scammer uses forged documents to basically take ownership over your home. With this, they could then try to force you out of the home, or they could take out other mortgages and equity in the home itself. So the best way to protect yourself against this is to get title insurance. Title insurance is something that you should buy when you are buying the house. In Florida, the seller is responsible for paying for the title insurance for the buyer. So this allows everybody to see a clear chain and title and pass ownership of the deed on from one owner to the next. And this is going to be your best form of protection for this. And obviously you always want to keep all your paperwork in a safe spot that's readily accessible. That way, if there is any sort of fraud like this, you'll be able to pull up the paperwork and show, hey, I'm the actual owner, or I didn't actually take out a mortgage or a second mortgage or any other lines of equity on the home. All right, up next, number 2. Cross the road real quick here. Number 2 is gonna be the old bait and switch. So this is where you are seeing a property in an ad, you go out and look at the same property, everything looks great, you're excited, you love it, and then next thing you know, right at the very last minute at the closing table, you are buying something else. So this is very sneaky, this is all paperwork done. We typically have seen this, I've personally seen this happen on land. It's easier to do on land because you're able to change the parcel ID numbers around, and unless you have surveys and you're really paying attention to lot lines and things like that, it could very easily be done. So that's why you want to make sure that you are using local professionals, being local surveyors, local title companies, and real estate agents to make sure that the bait and switch is not happening to you. A key note to think about too is don't think that you are fraud or scammer proof or it couldn't happen to you. So I know these things seem very like blatantly obvious and how could a bait and switch happen in real estate, but it definitely happens, and it happens more than you think. So you just want to make sure that you are paying attention to the details in the fine print when actually closing on the property, and that you are closing on what you are actually paying for, which was agreed on the original purchase agreement. And just like this Florida snowflake, we do think you're very special. We love and appreciate you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Since we're talking about sharky things, I figured I'd get us behind this beautiful mural here that one of the local artists did off of Flagler Avenue. So number 3 for sharky things, real estate scams, is going to be rental scams. This one is really running rampant right now, especially in Florida. Any hot rental market, you're gonna see a lot of this going on. So please pay close attention to this. And if you're not in the rental market, but you know somebody that is, please make them aware of it. What is happening is these scammers are listing properties that do not belong to them, or they don't have any ownership of it all, and they are basically taking security deposits down from people, and then obviously they ghost you after that. So they put the property up online on Zillow or rent.com. They act like it's their property. They'll stay in communication with you the whole time. They'll say, hey, we're taking applications and we need your security deposit. Congratulations, you got it. You're the winner in this tough rental market. And then they take your money and you never hear from them again. So what you can do to alleviate that is make sure that you actually visit the property in person. If you're moving out of state or out of town, have somebody local there visit it for you. And you can also do this by having them do video walkthroughs with you and just verifying that it's a property management company or that it's the actual owner of the property. We highly, highly, highly recommend you do not send any money until you have at least one of these things done. The best case is going to be you personally visiting the property or finding some other proof that these are the actual owners of the property. And also be aware that these scammers are very savvy. They do know how to go online on the local property appraiser websites, find the local addresses of the actual owners of the property, and look like they are them. So really make sure you do your due diligence. You can also have local real estate agents help you to make sure that there is no scam and that you're not losing your money. So the last thing I'll say about this is that you should not be giving any security deposits until you actually physically see the property. If you can't do that, definitely don't give a security deposit before your application is submitted. So don't submit an application and a security deposit, submit the application first and then wait to hear back. But again, you need to verify it with that process as well. We're seeing also where they're just doing it in bulk and collecting application fees, and that's another problem. So $50 to $100 for an application fee, that's a lot of money that you could be losing just by not paying attention and doing your due diligence. This next one, number 4, is particularly sneaky and creative of the scammers out there. And this one is the overpayment scam. So they'll send you a check for over the amount that they were supposed to, and then ask that you send them a check for the difference. So meaning if they were supposed to pay you 100 grand, they would send you some weird obscure number like $106,000.54. And they'd ask you to pay them back that $6,000.54. You think you got your money, a few days later their check bounces and yours does not, and they have your $6,000.54. So the moral of that story is you shouldn't be paying anything because you're the seller and you are selling something to a buyer and the buyer is buying something from you. So you should be using a great title company that's local to the area that you can put boots on the ground in and actually go in and physically see, and using a local real estate agent as well will help you avoid all of this. So keep in mind that the title company will be the one that will be dispersing all of the funds. So it should never be you physically writing a check to anybody for anything. It should all be coming out of the proceeds of the sale if you have to give a seller credit for a repair cost or something to that nature. But you should never personally be writing a check or sending any money to anybody when selling a house, because you're the one that should be getting the money. If you're not local and you're looking for a good restaurant to eat when you're in town, make sure to check out Clancy's Cantina. It is a local staple and on the Flagler Avenue Strip. Number 5 is technically not illegal, but I just think it's really sneaky, and I'm not a big fan of being very sneaky. Unless you're a ninja or something, and I don't think anybody watching this video is. So number 5 is the, hey, you need to pay for these really important special documents for your home scam. What will happen when you buy a home as the new owner of that home, you're going to get bombarded with mail saying that you need to purchase a certificate of your deed or a certificate for any important documents for the home. So you aren't required to do that. All that stuff is given to you for free at the closing of your property. So you'll get your deed at the closing of the property, and also you can get it for free online. In Florida, you can anyway. At the, you can go to the courthouse and get it, or you can go online at the property appraiser website and click a few tabs, and you should be able to find a way to access the deed. So you have all this information for free. They're gonna charge you something minuscule that you don't think that's that big a deal because you just bought a $300,000 house and I should spend $50 to get this certified certificate sticker of my homesteaded deeded property. You don't need to do it. It's technically not a scam, but they are taking your hard-earned money when you can get the stuff for free. All right, guys, so special guest star appearance. We're walking down Flagler Avenue and look who we find. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. What a dynamic duo. Thank y'all for being out here and bringing the magic spirit to New Smyrna.
Always.
Well, we'll let you guys do. I know you're on a tight deadline right now, so we'll see you. We'll see you in a couple days.
Okay.
Have a good night. Merry Christmas. Gotta love New Smyrna Beach. Last thing I'd like to leave you guys with before we end the video is to be aware of fast closings and high pressure. We need to close on the property fast. So accelerated timelines are something that you should kind of perk up and start to feel red flags. When you see this happening, you should just take a deep breath, slow down, calm down, and see what's really going on. What we see happen is that you'll feel the pressure of, hey, we need to close fast or we're gonna lose a deal because somebody else offered a faster closing or something like that. They're not willing to wait for you and smoothly go over your terms with you at a reasonable timeline. You should really stop and consider what's going on because you could be potentially falling victim to one of these scam crimes, such as title fraud, overpayment, rental scams, and just whatever creative things these guys come up with. That's all they do is sit around and think of how they can take your money all day long. So please just make sure you slow down throughout the process. Use local trusted professionals, attorneys, real estate agents, title companies. They'll be able to help you navigate through the situation. They've got a lot of experience with it. They know all the red flags. More than likely, if something feels wrong to you, it probably is, so don't discredit yourself and think that you're just being, I don't know what the right word would be, but overly cautious, I guess. So it's never worth the risk. Just go ahead and get it checked out. Most of these people will help you for free, so you don't have to worry about paying an exorbitant amount of money to make sure that you're being protected. So just a quick recap here. We have title fraud, we have bait and switch, we have rental scams of them taking your security deposits and application fees. Fourth one is going to be the overpayment, where they overpay and have you pay them back money. And then the fifth one really legally technically isn't a scam, but that is where they're having you pay for certified documents that you don't need to do because you can get them for free anyway. So hope this video helps. Let us know what other scams that you know of and what we need to avoid. We appreciate it. We're all in this together. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow, and see you guys in next week's video.